Hello, everyone. Today I am joined by the lovely Leon. Leon is an indie game developer, and we are just going to be asking him some questions about his game.
Hello, my name's Leon. Give a little wave.
Great. So, can you tell us a little bit about your game? What made you want to make the game?
Um, well, it started off basically. I wanted to make a big, expansive, like 2D platformer game. But I realized that I'm using a new engine called Godot, which I'll probably mention later on. The reason why I'm using it. But and while learning, I was like, oh, I've always wanted to make a multiplayer game, which I get to control. I can create and build around what my friends and people like to play and see what I can get out of it. And then I figured out that it's quite easy to do in sense of like being able to do it like set up the local multiplayer itself. And I just thought, why not? Why not do that for when pandemic's over and you can chill and play it and have fun. And I feel like it's more of a party game, and I'm sure a lot of people miss those kind of situations. So yeah.
So, I don't really know much about gaming. What tools are you using to make this game?
Well, I mentioned I'm using Godot, which is a game engine. And the reason I'm using Godot is because it's free, for one. And I know there's a few free engines, but Godot is also open source, which means if you have a problem with the engine, or I know in the world we live in now where we don't know what software is tracking or what software is doing in the background, you can see everything it's doing. You can compile it yourself if you really want. And I'd never probably contribute to the project because it's made by volunteers and then compiled at the end by the foundation, Godot Foundation. Good,
Mhm.
um, Godot or Godot. It's about Godot, so I'm always confused how do you actually pronounce it. I think it's Godot. I think it's
You could be
Godot.
saying it wrong.
I could be saying it wrong, yeah. But it's basically open source and it works off grants. It's non-profit, and they take money off like Godot, even though they take is basically grant based, and it's donations through Patreon and wherever where you can do it, and it's does have full time developers, but even though it takes money off Facebook and Epic, it still means like these companies don't have any control of what happens to the software, and it's free. So, and because you can literally download it yourself and compile it yourself and release it, and you don't give them anything, I think that's quite amazing that there's people out there that do this sort of thing. And so I try and keep everything I use open source. So another thing is like there's a couple of things I don't use open source. Like there's two programs actually called Sprite and Pixedit. And they're very cheap software, but I'm pretty sure you can actually compile one of them. You can look at the source code if you want, but you still have to buy. But it was like £9 or
Are
£6.
they are both of those programs involved in your game?
Yeah, they're for the pixel art basically, because it's going to be a pixel art game, obviously. Because I'm not the most talented artist, I've started to get into it, and I think Sprite's one of the best pieces of software, probably along with Godot, that I've ever used. Because before Godot, I should mention, I used a game engine called Unity, which is not open source. It's free, but the business model's a bit. I don't really like it. Um, and a sprite is literally buy it once and you get to keep every update afterwards, and it's an absolutely fantastic piece of software for pixel art and animation and stuff like that. And the reason I've got another program which is for pixel art, which is kind of the name Pixel Edit, is for tile maps. It's a bit better, but a sprite is doing that. But I think there too, if you're ever going to buy software, they're two of the ones, well, especially a sprite, you should really invest in, because it's a fantastic piece of software. I'm also using a thing called LMMS, which is a DAW, which basically you can make MIDI music. And I want to start to get into making the music myself too. So I decided to get that. And I also downloaded a free open source, I think it's open source, thing called Musescore free.
Hmm.
Which basically, if you've ever seen programs like Sibelius, it's Avid Media. It's basically a score program, but you can export note sound from it. Like you can have pianos, violins, and depending on uh, your hardware, you can make it actually sound really pretty good. And obviously, it's going to be a kind of pixel retro game anyway. So even if it's like these kind of beeps, it's not terrible. And another one, um, probably going to bring up later, but obviously being a local multiplayer game, you need something to be able to test it. And like I can't go and ask my mum. She'd just like look at me like, "You want me to play this? Okay, what's this button do?" Uh, and even though she does actually play, she used to play a lot of the Mario games on the Wii and Wii U and the 3DS and stuff. So she might, but it's not something I want. She'd just be like 2 minutes, and she'd be like, "I'm gonna go back to knitting."
So,
um,
why is your mum playing the game?
she probably would, yeah. But I've using this thing called Parsec, and it basically makes any local multiplayer game online, and it's very fast. It's very thing like it. You see, it's made by gamers for gamers, kind of thing. Where it's like if you want to stream a game to someone and be able to play it, you can even plug your controller in and stuff like that and play. It's really good.
Yeah.
It because the reason is I haven't really looked at network coding, and I didn't really want to do that for like compensation and stuff like that before I actually make a proper game. So yeah,
It's amazing that you have so many, all of these things so available, for either a very reasonable price or free.
yeah,
To be able to just do that in your spare time. And obviously, you really love making games and you're doing it in your spare time. So it's just games, games, games.
yeah, pretty much. I like playing them. Love playing them. Been playing them since I was like 2 years old. I think probably even maybe even younger. And the fact that you can get something that's free, something and or reasonable price like a sprite if you want to do pixel art is it's honestly it's like what a couple of coffees. So
Mhm.
like literally you can go if you go to Costa and get like two coffees, that's how much that e-sprite is, and you get to keep it for life. And it's even though it's not free, it's if software like that, I would definitely think like I'd
Well,
happily donate to like Godot, for example, because it's such a great piece of
maybe
software.
I'd take the coffees, but that's just me.
Chai lattes. Oh,
What approach are you taking to creating the game?
uh, due to Parsec, it's actually been really helpful to be able to work on it and then get direct feedback. Like I changed a lot of the movement speed, and my friend John was like, I bugged him a little bit. I was like, you know how you enjoyed the first time? You want to try again? And he was like, yeah, go on. And then we played it. He was like, oh yeah, I like this, and say things that I might not like, and I think very good direct approach. You can get direct feedback off people close to you, but aren't scared to be like, yeah, this is a bit crap, this isn't it? Or
Mhm.
this is, but like, yeah, I haven't had it crap yet, so that's a good thing. But it's a basic concept anyway, and I just want to get the gameplay loop. But also, what I like actually relating to being making it all myself is I can literally just work on whatever I want anytime. So if I'm like, I want to do some features, but coding, I'll do that. If I'm like, oh, I want to make some art, make some music, and just go, okay. And no one tells me what to do, apart from myself, obviously. Otherwise, I just sit here and do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay. So
expecting. I was expecting a comment then.
what?
Like he called me lazy before.
You're a little bit lazy.
No.
um. So that's like the kind of the benefit and difference when you're making it yourself is you can have a bit more freedom with, what you want to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I get to go. Oh, like because a lot of people when they're working on something, if it's a book, you get bored of writing, so they'll go into maybe research something to do with like a place that they've written about in that book, maybe to take the mind off it for a bit. I guess it's
Yeah.
similar to that.
Yeah, I
Whereas,
was listening to a talk or like a podcast today, and the woman was saying that she was with a guy, and even though he wasn't very nice to her, he used to lock her in because he knew that she loved to write. And she would say, "Oh, I can't be bothered to write." So he'd lock her in the kitchen and make her write and say, like, you're not coming out until you've done two chapters. And even though he was like quite controlling, so she published her first book by being forced to sit in that room and do it. So
just
maybe
I guess the
I could
relationship
lock
didn't
you
last
in
long.
your room
No, I'm I'm
and tell you that you have to finish this.
I'm making I'm making the game all right by myself. I think that what helps with gaming now is it's everything put together. So it's like writing, music, art, programming, design, like everything's related to it. So literally, if you get bored of something, you just go, I might draw this character, something
Yeah.
the character can wear, instead of going, I'm going to look at this code for the last hour, which I've been doing a lot of, but that's because I want to get everything cemented, feature wise, game loop wise.
Do you have any ideas for the like art of the game or the kind of characters, like the theme?
Uh, I I was thinking about this, because obviously I've got like the gameplay loop down and how it feels and how it operates. But like art wise, I was thinking of basically just doing like jokes, like stuff, just random. It's not going to have a particular theme because one of them is that you can customize your character. You can add little
Hmm.
hats or faces onto the character, like an alien face, like a just different characters, different bodies. But like it's just going to be a mixture of stuff I like. Essentially, I don't want to really set down a theme because that kind of limits you. But if you can just make these crazy combinations of characters to make them all unique, then the better. Because you get like, oh, you've got sunglasses on a frog. Just draw a frog's head, put some sunglasses on it, done. No, just random stuff like that, basically.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's fun. That's what it's all about.
And what are your future ideas for the game?
For the game or future ideas for games.
Well, your future ideas for this game,
Okay.
and if you want to tell us some future ideas for other games, if you're going to be really ambitious and plan
I'm planning well ahead.
your next game already.
Um, this game's coming along really fast. I've only been working on this game for like a week,
Hmm.
bear in mind, and a week and a half maybe, and I've already got like pretty much a whole. You can play the game and play around and win the round, and do another round. So it's like, and it's got like basic profiles, so you can have your own name in it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it impresses me. I wouldn't know where to start.
But this for this game, I would just want to add loads of different customability. I want to add different game modes. Like I've got sudden death and last man standing at the moment. Sudden death is whoever gets the first kill. Last man standing, whoever is the last person alive. Um, so I want to do that, but yeah, um, I'm just probably thinking about basically just making it look as pretty as possible. But also just keep adding items and adding different maybe hazards in the game. They like got spikes moving, like all things that kill players, so you have to be careful of them. And I don't know if this is going to be a game I sell or a game that I release for free as a first kind of thing in the engine, and then move on to something else. Like I've got ideas for other games, but I don't really want to talk about them just yet because
Okay.
I need to finish this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna lock you in there and you finish that game. Get that done by the end of
Just come in,
March.
just feed me like one piece of spinach that's been fried. So it's just like this
I'll
big.
just slide spinach into the door. Like, there you go.
Keep my iron up. That's it.
Yeah. So I was going to ask how you were testing a local multiplayer game due to social distancing, but I think you covered that. You just play it with your mum. So
I don't play it more. Just look at them, it's like, what is this? Why are you still a block? Why are you a block with an arrow on it? um, but yeah, with Parsec, you can have as many. I don't know how many max, but it's a 4-player game at the moment, and I connected 3 people easy, and it ran great. Even a guy from Australia played it, and it wasn't actually that bad. Like
okay.
you can see the milliseconds, so that's how I test it.
We may have touched on this a little bit, but how are you planning to distribute the game?
It will obviously, yeah, depends. If I'm doing it for free, but I think if the more I add to it, and the bigger it becomes, and the more time I put into it, the better it becomes as a whole. You know, if I see it as a whole game, do you get what I mean? Whereas like where I'm happy that I could sell it to someone and they'd be satisfied on the purchase, essentially. Um, I would probably try and tackle Steam, which is a payment you pay up, and then you can put it up there. Or if I'm going to give it free, it's going to be on a website called itch.io, which I'd probably put it there anyway too, which is like a lot of little games that people make, but also you can put bigger games up. And just basically people can download and play it, and you can put it up there for free. So with a little page and the description of the game, and it's cute. It's really cute.
Okay.
And they're very much for like developers, just to basically, oh, you've made this little tiny little game, go put it up, or you can even have bigger games up there too.
I'm excited to see where it goes. So if if I don't lock you in the room and make you finish it by the end of March, when do you think it will be done?
Well, I'm hoping I'm going to see how much art I can get done. Like, I never think it'll always be done because there's always stuff I want to add or want to change. Like, that's just how it is when you're creative, isn't it? Like, I'm sure you look at painting and sometimes go, I could add something to that, or look at something you've written and you're like, I could change that.
I don't think any of my paintings have ever been finished.
exactly. So it's kind of like, and that's me with game. It's like, oh, I could add this, I could add this. So I think I'm happy about it. I think I'll give it like about 3 months. I think I'll get pretty close, which is quite a quick turnaround. But you can play the game through start to finish right now if you want. Like, you can have a game. There's only one stage, but you can actually play a whole game. You've got a menu, you've got settings, you've got a winner screen, which is actually really cute. Confetti comes down and everything. It's like I'm wasting all my time. It's like, draw a character. It's like, yeah, but I can make confetti fall down on the winner screen. Why not? Why don't I do that? That's what I mean. Like when I was talking about before, I was like, I can just literally do whatever I want, and I was like, I want to make something look pretty. So I did that instead of actually, doing parts of the game that may require some brain work. You can just literally background winner, but then make it look all pretty, and it makes you relax. But I see about 3-4 months as
Okay.
at least a demo, a full polished demo. That's you could go, okay, if you added stuff to this would be a full-fledged game, essentially.
Can't wait to play when it's a little bit more, further along. Yeah, I think I have asked you everything that I'd like to know so far about the game. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Often I just punched my mic accidentally. I would say, I don't know. Just might as well if you're like in lockdown stuff. I know stuff's being lifted soon, but if there's anything like creative you want to do, I say go and do it. Because I see like a lot of people get bored, but if you got something creative to keep your mind active and thing, you tend to feel better. Not with just mental health, but just in general. Like at least you're doing something productive. So,
Yeah, that's very, very true.
so like, so I'd even if it's writing a book, doing a painting, doing a short film. Some people do one-man short films, and they actually turn out really cool.
At a social distance. Short film at a social distance.
There's like, I mean, like a one-man. Like there was a guy who literally, when I was looking for reviews,
This is the passionate love scene, but you have to stand 2 meters apart.
Yeah, they just work on stuff you want. and just keep your mind active, and then you might feel better, like a little bit better,
Yeah.
because you're doing stuff. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Vic, unless you got any
Do
more
you have
questions.
any? Yeah.
I take that. Yeah,
What advice would you give someone who maybe doesn't have as much experience as you, but would quite like to, you know, have a little try of making a little game?
just look at tutorials. Download Godot, Unity, whatever. Like Unity didn't never clicked for me. That's why I moved to Godot because it's free and whatever. But there's
Mhm.
plenty of tutorials out there. There's people you can go watch and who's working on their own game like this, and you can look at ideas and just be like, oh, I want to make something that is small. Like always make it small first, otherwise, you never got to complete it, and
Yeah.
then you'll be demotivated. But just look at stuff and be like, oh, I want to make that, and then just go and do it. Like literally, that's the only reason way you can do it is like if you're not good at programming and what there's software like Construct Free and Godot has a visual scripting program. I think I've never used it. I don't know how good it is, but there's also that.
So you'd say tutorials,
Yeah,
and you would recommend the programs that you're
yeah,
using at the moment?
yeah. Or even, and if that doesn't work for you, if you want a completely visual and visual scripting, I'd say Unreal Engine, just because I know blueprints are apparently really good. So yeah, which you probably like. What was he talking about?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. That
no
was
worries.
really interesting, and I'm really excited to see how the game goes, and also if you can complete it in your time frame.
Yeah,
That's
let's
a little
find out.
challenge,
Yeah,
but we will
let's hope.
definitely, yeah, we will definitely come back to you further along and just get some updates on any maybe obstacles you've run into or
Come back,
ideas you've had
come back 4 months
and
later and I'm
progression that
crying.
you've made.
4 months later and I'm crying, just going, why did I do this? Scrap it. No, I definitely want to make this. It's going really well. So hopefully not too many obstacles. So,
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
You're welcome.